That'd be Ward 1. Thank you very much. Well, for Ward 1, I think we've always got the elephant in the room, which is our relationship with Washington University. It's both a pro and a con at times. It is a good neighbor, yet at times it comes in and takes a few more properties off the books than we would like. I think in the first ward, if we were even going down the road on economic development, I think the place you want to be looking at probably right now is Del Mar and Old Bonham, because I think that is starting to be an area that is percolating. As far as concerns in the first ward, I would tell you that from talking with my neighbors, one of our biggest concerns that we have is the outsourcing of EMS, because we lost the reciprocation and the mutual aid with Ladue, Clayton, and Richmond Heights, and we all relied on those three entities. We've also had an uptick in crime in the first ward, particularly down towards the southern portion. And I would tell you that one of my priorities going forward would be to make sure that we are fully funding and fully staffing our police department. Thank you. Thank you. I think we would all agree that this was actually a tough call. The architect's report, I think, coming from the corporate world where I was for a long time, I would say that I think this report was designed clearly to justify the building of the new building. And I think the architects who came Monday night said that. But at the end of the day, that decision has been made. So now we need to move forward. One of the next questions we all need to be asking ourselves is, if we're building a $12 million, $15 million, pick your number, I think the public needs to not only be engaged in it, but the public needs to be able to vote on the financing option for this. This is $12 million. We all want our police department to have the best that they can possibly have. But when you're looking at the numbers, you've got to remember that when we move out, we've still got about $6 million that we've got to do to put back in to renovate the old one. So when you're comparing apples to apples, you've got to do that. But the decision's been made. We've got to move forward. The next step needs to be, how are we going to finance this? And I believe that you need to have a voice in that. Thank you. I think once the project has been presented to us, it's important for us to become informed and educated on it. I think at that point in time, it is important for us to then become engaged with the public. And as judged by the audience tonight and by the 100 or 200 people that have been coming to every council meeting, we do have a plethora of people who are pretty well educated and engaged in University City. I think it's important for us, though, to also learn from others' mistakes. And one of the best examples is when we outsourced EMS, why didn't we reach out to the 5 communities who had outsourced it and then brought it back? And so I think that's one of those keys. I also want to come back. Yes, we have qualified staff, but staff is designed to inform. Council is then to make the policy decision, and we are to make the policy decision open and in public with a two-way dialogue. Not simply with a presentation by staff and then a vote. It is very important that we have the opportunity to get the information, engage with you, ask questions of each other and staff, and then move forward. Thank you very much. I think that some of you may have gotten tired of my, I call it an e-blast over the past several months, because they always tend to be coming in a hurry. And I think giving you information is incredibly important. But I think as we get the information out, I want you to pause and think. When we talk about informing you and you being part of the decision-making process, when it came to Proposition S&P, and when it came to EMS outsourcing, we were given the statutory minimum notice for those 2 important decisions. And to all of you in this room, that was wrong. That was wrong. For us to be called upon for a vote to outsource EMS and for Prop S&P with the minimum notice, but still the emails went out, 200 people showed up. So the idea by all means with me is to engage the public, get as much information as I can from you, and have you participate in the process. But I think that all of us on council have an obligation to get notice out to you a little bit.
Your time is up.
I think I can be brief on this one probably too. I would say that I would agree with Carol on about everything she said. I also would like to add, though, that once they were suspended and action started, the University City Civil Service Review Board voted unanimously to advise the city manager to reinstate all of them. And he chose to ignore that decision, and that decision cost us a settlement of $325,000. We can talk about whether the settlement was paid from by insurance or it's paid from out of our pockets. But those of us who are business people know that when your insurance company writes a check for 200 grand in 1 year, what happens the next year? So what happened there was wrong. The Civil Service Review Board got it right, and so did the court. We did not handle that appropriately. Thank you. I support Prop H, but I think we have to understand why it's out here. I think Mr. Smotherson talked about it. Prop H was put on the ballot not just to preserve historical building, but it was put on the ballot because I think a lot of citizens have some concerns about the credibility of the council and what they would do. And that goes back to the U Heights neighborhood and a lot of folks. So when we talk about the cost of an election of public engagement, you know, folks, public engagement costs, that's number one. But number two, this election would come right up with another election. So at the end of the day, we know why we moved to University City. We bought historical homes. We take care of them. We renovate them, and we protect them. And that is exactly what Proposition H is designed to do. So I will be voting for it.